Hi there, I'm Mike Forts, and welcome back to Parlour to Parlour. And today I'm here with Eli and Ezra from Hogs of Change. How you doing, guys?
Good.
Doing great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. So, I think I was explaining earlier that I used to write a lot of reviews of albums and concerts and such. So now it's time to turn the tables and have you guys do some describing yourself. How would you describe your music in your own words?
Well, this has been like the $1 million question for us. One of a friend of ours recently described our music as a interdimensional. It's like if you were traveling through different dimensions, and then you were to get stuck, and then somebody were to throw in a bunch of bees. But he said that actually, he actually said that before he had heard our music. But he's actually kind of like that. I think that kind of works in a way.
It's the best I've heard of so far.
Yeah. Interdimensional time travel with bees.
Or intergalactic, even.
Yeah. But we draw upon different genres and influences, but it's not like psychedelic surf rock or roots, reggae, pop, jazz, pop.
I think we have a combination of our favorite elements from a variety of influences, and then we've kind of put them all together and created our own genre. I almost feel as though we're creating our own genre, and maybe there isn't quite a name for it yet.
Except for Hogs of Change.
Sure.
Yeah. And speaking of influences, what would you say are some of your strongest influences, musical or otherwise?
Well, I can say for myself, one of my biggest all-time musical influences and inspirations is the pianist Keith Jarrett.
Yes.
He's a big influence with me musically, and so he's who I look up to, and it's his music that really inspired me to start studying music and to play the piano at all. So that's my biggest influence.
Both, actually, myself as well. Eli actually introduced me to Keith Jarrett, years and years ago, and a lot of the trio stuff with Gary Peacock and Jack DeJohnette, like the live stuff. There's these. Sometimes that band will go and they're playing pretty standard jazz for a lot of the tunes, but then in some of the recordings they'll kind of just play the standard. You play the head, you solo, you play the head. But then a lot on some of these recordings, they'll extend the end of the song, and they'll just kind of go to these more like modal jams where they're not really playing the changes anymore, and they just create more like this really cool space, and everyone is grooving. But anyway, the Keith Jarrett Trio has some really expansive improvisations that were, I think, really influential to both of us when we were starting to play music together 11, 12 years ago. And there's another band called The Slip that Eli and I used to see a good amount on the East Coast, and a lot of their the way they would approach improvisation was really unique and really influential, and but also what was unique about them was they also had some really great songs and compositions, and I think for both of us, we really value, as much as we like to improvise and create that sort of musical context, it's really nice to counteract that with really just good songwriting, and compositions, so that you kind of have the best of both worlds.
So over the past 12 months, what would you say are some of the most important milestones you've had as a band?
Well,
becoming a band.
Yeah.
Re-becoming a
yeah,
band.
reviving our band. We started our band in 2002. We met in 2001 in Vermont in college and started playing music together with some other people, and then by the next year we did our first show, just the two of us, and then we played together for a number of years there and lived together in a house and would practice in our basement, and then would play a handful of shows a year, and then we kind of went separate ways for a while, and I came out west, and then Eli came out west a few years ago. But really, since the beginning of this year, the winter solstice, we kind of revived our group, and since then we've been writing a lot and rehearsing a lot and playing a fair number of shows in the Bay Area and a little beyond, and we're working on our first record. So just the fact that we're like here doing it again, I think is a milestone for us, and we're psyched about that.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
We had a temporary hiatus where we didn't know if or when we would ever reunite, and we did.
Yeah, I
think
would've.
deep down, some part of me deep down thought we would,
Yeah,
but
I
it
think-
didn't
yeah.
seem clear
I
for
think
sure.
Eli I think had more faith, where a few years ago I was kind of like, it's over. Hogs was then, and
We always used to joke back before any of this happened that we'd play a show on the winter solstice of 2012, the quote end of the Mayan calendar, and it just so happened that an opportunity came for us to play a show that night, many years after we'd always joked about it actually happened. And we played our first show on the winter solstice, our first show in 7 years, was it?
yeah, since 6 or 7, since 2006. I think the summer 2000.
That was
the
a
spring of
landmark.
2006. Yeah.
Yeah, after that show, somebody came up to Ezra and I after the show and said, "So guys, is tonight enough to make the Hogs be a band from now on?" And we didn't really know what to say, but I think the answer now is yeah, that was all it took.
I'd like to say thank you for speaking.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, and before we go, this is a very unique space. How about
It is.
you show us some of the things around here that keep it inspiring for you?
Sure. These are some of my photographs that I do. I do a special type of photography from film that mostly focuses on landscapes. And then all around this building I have these prints that I make from coffee. These coffee prints. And they're quite unusual. And they're always wonderful.